nobody should walk into trial blind. Trials are very random things. Since you don't pick the jurors until you start the trial, you literally have no idea who's going to be deciding the outcome of your case. And because we know that jurors are members of the community, and because we know that people in the same community often hold fairly similar values, it's important to us that we take away some of that randomness of trial by having focus groups before a trial. So what's a focus group? That is a situation where you get a group of people, usually around 12, but it can be double that, and you put your case on in front of them in a more informal setting. A good focus group includes all the high points of your case and all the high points of the defendant's case. You want to make sure the focus group hears everything as close to how you think they're going to hear it at trial. And then you get their responses. So we give them questionnaires where they will put down what they think about the liability, who they would assess it against, meaning is it more the defendant, more our client, more a third party. We ask them what they would give in damages for different types of damages like medical bills and lost wages and pain and suffering. And more importantly, we ask them why, not just on paper, but we talk to them about it afterwards. And we create an environment where everyone feels free to give their opinion, where we even call on people if they're not giving their opinion, so they can tell us what they thought. What was the most important fact to them? What is the one thing they didn't like, right? And for our office, we put all of our focus groups on in-house. Most law firms contract with some third party, which costs more money to the client. But we've developed a good system here for hiring our own people for the focus group, paying them something for their time for sure, but not having to pay that third party company, because we want to keep more money in our client's pocket at the end of the day. And this also allows us to do multiple focus groups before a jury trial. So we get a really, really good idea of what important facts we have to put in front of the jury and what things we might have thought were important, but the jury just doesn't. And so we're not as worried about making sure those are in front of the jury. That gives us an advantage over the defense counsel, who very likely hasn't done a focus group and may think something's really important and spend a lot of time making sure the jury knows about that thing, but they're just not going to care about it. And we want that. Another thing that we do is we have shadow juries. That is different from a focus group because instead of putting all the evidence to the focus group in an informal setting, the shadow jury comes in and watches the actual trial. And every day at the end of the trial, they tell us what they thought was important about that day, whether it was good or bad for us. And that way, when we go to the next day of the trial, we know if we need to make a course correction. We know if some testimony or some exhibit really seemed to sway the jury one way or another. And we can have a plan for either emphasizing that point or trying to de-emphasize that point and take it away or rebut it with some other evidence. If you would like to be a member of a focus group or a shadow jury, you can usually find it on Craigslist, and we also have a page on our website with a link that we'll put in the comments. You get $50 for your time for a single night plus food, and you get the opportunity to tell us if we're doing the right thing and maybe help somebody out in the process. If you have any other questions about how focus groups or shadow juries can help you win a trial, please call Lawrence & Associates.